everybody. Yeah, I'm pretty noisy. Welcome to another live stream. Hopefully, my voice is hard enough. Is there maybe a little bit more volume on the microphone? I hope everybody does well. I was tweaking around. Today, we have several subjects. And SubBoomBass-2, I mentioned we're working on new presets. I have not much to show yet. But I thought, yeah, why not try some cool stuff with SubBoomBass-2 this evening? And things you can do yourself, because you know you see sequence tabla, this one is pretty busy. And sometimes in the music, it's too overwhelming. And one trick you can do with SubBoomBass-2, of course, is edit these presets. Loud enough? Okay, cool. Perfect, Rob, this side. Yeah, okay, I can see this view meter on the top. I have a screen on the top. But I first want to talk a little bit about other subjects, but let me see. People drop in the chat room. Cool. Yeah, what did we do last week? We did update a bit. So if you go to bit 2, you open bit 2, and you click here in the control menu in the upper right corner, you can say download latest. And if you don't have the latest version, it will download the latest version. So if I click it now, it will say, you have the latest version, bit 2 version 1.0.1a. So that is a new version. The last one was 0.10, and this is having letter A. And it solved a little problem here with the magic mode, which could crash, which is not good, of course. So that's one of the new features we are adding to all our plugins, is that you can scroll in the upper control menu and you say download latest version. Of course, before you run the installer, close your music program. So that's the same. The same goes for Bluetooth. So let me see if we have Bluetooth open. Oh, Bluetooth 3. Sorry, Bluetooth 3. My bad. Also here, the control menu in the upper right corner. Download the latest version. Aha, here you see there's a newer version. I did not install it myself. So when I click OK, it will start downloading. And of course, close your music program and run it. We add some little features to Blue-3, which makes it in some points a little bit more stable. The same goes, so Blue-3, Bit 2, and also Albino 3. We add some little things, if I'm not wrong. That was the last one. So coding-wise, we are busy. And everybody welcome. Let's see. Yeah, everybody welcome. Yes. No questions yet. Everybody is in the chat room. The gang is back again. That's cool. So I wanted to tell you a little bit, a few other things before we dive into SubBoomBass-2. So maybe that's a bit fun because I posted on Facebook this one. And let me make it bigger. So let's make it. That is the CRB Uranus. And the story behind this is that at the end of the 70s, when I was on the mid school, my uncle had a distribution in CRB organs and also, he had a showroom and we went there, of course. At that time, I'm not sure if I had already a synthesizer. I think it was not the case. I was maybe 13, 14 years old. And this one was standing there in the showroom. I'm not sure if it did play. And I posted it on Facebook this week. And of course, also from some Italian guys responded who are looking into preserving some history from the Italian manufacturers. So this one was a very typical one because you can see it has a synthesizer section, but still down here it also has a rhythm section inside of it. So that's what's the brochure, which I saved. So this brochure is 50 years old. Unbelievable, isn't it? But looks cool. And somebody did mention it looks like a bit Eurorack stuff. So if you see here that they talk, the Uranus model is the latest fantastic realization in the polyphonic synthesizer field. So, of course, in that time, in the 70s, not much polyphonic synthesizers were available. And here it says, sound effect real-time without registration on different trays. It would necessary to use 8 monophonic synthesizers, not less than 4 players. Yeah, it's for recording studios and live performances. I think for live performance, it would be a little bit big to carry around this machine and see how huge it is. But of course, they were used in that time also to big Hammond organs and Leslie. It's all heavy stuff. And so it had 8 independent mixable synthesizers divided in 2 sections. So that's pretty much. And you had then VCO 2, 1, 2, and 3. And looking at the image, it's a bit hard to recognize it. I could even scroll in a bit more. You still see it, I think, up there. So polyphonic computerized synthesizer. Here you had some touch things you could use. Yeah, here you see the oscillators. Here you see the filters. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. That was one section. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, so 8 voice monophonic synthesizers were inside of it. You see here the ADSRs. And so I only did see it. I did not play it at that time. And it's unsure. I need to ask my uncle if that one was a playing one or still a dummy model. And after that area, it disappeared also from the showroom. So maybe it was only for a given time in that section. So it's a very rare machine. And they localized the designer from that time. And the last message in Facebook said that they're gonna rebuild that one. So that would be cool. It's a very rare synth. And let's go to the other one, because this one I had. That was the Oberon from CRB. Unlucky, this one is lost somewhere. It was defect, was a very heavy synthesizer, but very nice. I received it from my uncle, but it was defect. It went to a repair section via one person and essentially never saw it back. It was lost in time, which is pity. It had little touch buttons. They light up. And it even had some very nice features, but it was very big and very heavy. So if I go, this is the brochure of the Oberon. And this one is still around. A guy in Italy does still have it and plays it. You can find it on Facebook. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube. You might can search it. So it's CRB Oberon. And you see here 2 VCOs, even a very extensive filter section with low pass, band pass, high pass. It's a very interesting machine. So I thought, yeah, well, maybe it's interesting to show to you guys which brochures I still have here in my possession. So this is a very rare thing. And I discovered even more brochures. And let me show you another one, because I saved for years this advertising. And this advertising was in the Dutch magazine called Music Maker. And I pulled it out because my first synthesizer, maybe some know it, my first synthesizers were the Korg MS-20 plus SQ10. And at that time, when I was 15, I had to decide to buy the Korg MS-20 plus SQ10 or the Yamaha CS-30. That was the option I had. And the CS-30 was always in my mind, of course. And you see here, I even did write down the price it was at that time. That was Dutch guilders, was 28.50. That was the price, advice price, but you could get it for 2,645. And this brochure is probably 45 years old. I did scan it, and I have all kind of papers with things which I found interesting. So Space Power, Yamaha Professional Center, and that time Harder Music in Utrecht did the distribution of Yamaha. So it was the time ahead of Yamaha doing their own distribution in Europe. And I always liked this synthesizer, and a person who I know in ACT also had one, so I also did play sometimes on it, and I never left my mind. And now, if all goes well, next week I'll receive one. I could get hold of one CS-30. Yes, lucky me. After 45 years, or 40 years, after 40 years, it's finally, here it is. This one is going to land in my studio. And of course, I'm not a collector because, yeah, I have, of course, classic synths, but the ones which you see on my left side, Minimo, Jupiter, Prophet 600, I have them for decades. But this one I always wanted to have. So, so this CS-30, and that one has very special layout. And I did have the... Okay, let me click on the next one to show you something interesting. You see? Here's the panel of the CS-30, and then you see the layout of synthesizers did not change that much, of course. We have a VCO, VCF, VCA, sequencer part is built in. And what is special is, in this synthesizer, you don't select the filter type in the filter section itself. There you control the modulation, envelope amount, key follow, you see cutoff frequency. Now the filter type, okay, what is happening here? The filter type you select here in the VCA. Isn't that funny? So here you select high pass filter, band pass filter, low pass filter. So that's very rare. So if you would look to the synth and you go into the filter section, you think, where's the filter type? And so it's you see, every brand does a little bit their own thing. And another funny thing is that in the oscillators, essentially it's the same story. The oscillator waveform you don't select in the oscillators, but you select it in the filter. So what does the filter receive is then the input, which would be oscillator 1, oscillator 2. You have a second filter, and then the filter type you select in the voltage controlled amplifier. Funny, isn't that? So it's gonna arrive next week. Most likely I will do a little video about it. I also still need to do a video about the SH101. And this one, it's purely something from my youth, you know? It's not that I'm gonna use it all the time. It's just, yeah, it's a luxury that I can get hold of this machine, because it was always on my mind. So yeah, so you see the layout of synthesizers. This one is, I think, produced in 1977. They started to produce the first one of them. It is the biggest monophonic synthesizer Yamaha did from the analog. So this is a kind of semi-modular, only you don't have patches, but you have a lot of interesting options. And one thing which is also interesting is that you have an LFO, but in the filter you can say, I use from the same LFO, the sinus waveform, and in the other filter you can use from the same LFO another waveform. So it's an interesting concept. Yeah, my Usenik was the same. I had not a Bontempi organ, but a Chem organ, and for some polyphonic string sounds it was not bad, or vibe sounds, but it was neither my cup of tea. So a little bit about synths and my freaky synth brain. So lucky me that I'm get hold of this Yamaha CS-30. So I'm looking forward to receiving it next week. Okay, let's see the chat room. Oberon VST. Well, that's the problem. Yeah, also asked me if we maybe should do a VST of this Oberon or the Oranus, this other one. They also had a polyphonic one. It's not my cup of tea to do it. But first of all, you need to know how the oscillator and the filter correct sound is. So you need to have the original one to reproduce the other one. So that would not be my cup of tea. Of course, it's interesting Italian synth history. So it's not only that Gruma made synthesizer, but also this brand CRB Electronica in Italy. It was based in Ancona, Italy. And they made some very cool organs as well. And of course, they made this diamond string, which is inside Blue 3. So let's play it. Okay. So in the end, we have some CRB. So this is here we go. Let's see where we have this baby and Pets 3 diamond. I think I made a typo with that diamond. I toggle the A, E, and A. Diamond. Yeah, that's cool. I have a typo in the patches. Yeah, that's what you get if you are dyslexic. So the pure diamond string was mono, unlike the Solina strings. So here we have the Solina strings. Very mellow, and it's sampled this one, and I don't use only FX, no filter. So that's the Solina string, and the diamond sounds like a fridge string, like icy cold. And what I did, because originally it's not stereo, so what I did is sample it, and it sounds like this. Mono. I did loop it, and then what I did, I placed one sample on the left side, the other one on the right side, and changed the start point of the sample, which makes that you then get from a mono diamond string, because it was not stereo. This is really the original sound, but then of course, if you make it stereo, it's much nicer. Okay. Then you got it. And then synth strings combined with other stuff. So this one. Synth sound from Orbit-3 combined with the cool, isn't that? So this is the diamond string, and there it is. There's correctly diamond, and as preset, I toggle the A and I. Must be my age. And yeah, of course, you can throw it in the phaser of Orbit-3. Okay, let's see the chat room. I see Luca post. Yeah, if it crashes, there's only one solution. Download the latest version. And if it's a Mac version and Logic, do a rescan. That helps a lot. Should be stable. We have no other reports that Predator does crash. What mostly helps, or what always helps on a Mac, is to rescan in Logic the audio unit. That one is pretty fragile if it doesn't find the correct data. So give that a try, Luca, and if you still have an issue, as mentioned, close your music program, download the latest version of Predator 3. After you installed it, do the rescan in Logic or in Ableton, and then check again. Okay. Oh, somebody has plugins for free, has the Oberon. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, we could plugins for free Oberon. Yeah, Tom Aldrich mentions in the US we had the CS-50 and CS-80. I found the brochure of the CS-50 and also part of the CS-80. Yeah, they were big machines, very heavy, but very much ahead of its time in terms of features. The CS-80 had already a kind of poly aftertouch. I think also even a velocity switch. And in bit 2, I created this harp sound, which Vangelis used. I think that is in this one. Synth sounds. Yeah, it's in cis. It's a lot of black keys. From Vangelis, John and Vangelis. Now I get, of course, a strike in YouTube. That's the typical. And the CS-80 had a 12 dB filter. So not a 24 dB filter, but it was great for these big sounds. Uh, 82 kilograms. I think it hits maybe 100 kilograms. But at that time, they had the big Hammond organs with Leslie. So if you play keyboard, you had some good roadies, or you need some good muscle strength to play live. And they had the 12 dB filter. And you see in this patch, I also use 12 dB because 12 dB does filter, but leaves more over these higher harmonics, which then creates this more mellow sound. I also use it in the pads, which are inside here. Oh, wow, but nice sound. Yeah, space strip pad. Nice pad sound. Okay, but I want it on a Jupiter pad. Also 12 dB. That's what I use on my Jupiter 8, which is behind me. I always use the 12 dB filter switch, and instead of 24, I use the 24, and you got some. Now it has delay, of course. I have several variations. See, all kind of. Even Uno type pads, which then use only one oscillator, because the Uno only has one oscillator. So all kind of different how we say that? Different characters here, because then you use chorus, and you see the original Jupiter has no chorus, so I think in this one I don't use chorus. Oh, I need to sneeze. 1 second. Oh, the sneeze is not coming. Spiral. I think he uses also in Spiral the sound I played in Synth sound. So where it is again, Evangelist. That's from Spiral. Nice reverb, isn't it? But that's what also evangelists love to use. A lot of, he has the plates, the EMT plates, and puts them on max seconds so that he had a very long. Okay. But I see we're already 20 hours, 8 or 20 minutes. Memories of Green from Blade Runner. Oh, I don't know that one. Yeah, well, the advantage, somebody tags, yeah, Predator 3, Bit 2, each has its own strengths of particular sounds. You cannot do with Bit 2. So if I would go to Predator 3, then you. These are not possible with Bit, because this is a very different type of synthesis. Of course, you also can do some great pads one with this one. So in the introduction band, which I always loved, is this, where is it again? Mellow pad. Pad. Now this is another one. Oh, here's Mellow Carpet. Yeah, it each has their own power and okay, wrong clicking here. But I wanted to start with doing some SubBoomBass-2 stuff. Okay, let's go to SubBoomBass-2. In the meantime, I'm reading the chat room. So if you go to this preset, the thing is you got the manager and you see we have a lot of preset. Oh, that's hard. Pretty. As you can see with many bass presets, there's no FX used because then it sits nicely in your music. Not always needed to have, for instance, chorus. Makes it thicker, but maybe that takes then too much room. So always try also how that sounds. All kind of. Of course, it's famous sub. Very low. Which makes it cool is that SubBoomBass-2, SubBoomBass originally had a little bit the focus on the urban music style, but it's also used in house, techno, even film music composers use it for the low rumbles. And the cool thing is, it's not doing very good your classic analog style basses, but also new stuff like this one, which uses a tube sample, a tube I did sample, and it combines it with the sub-oscillator. And the sub-oscillator with SubBoomBass-2 is very cool because if you keep it on the middle, it doesn't work. If you go to the right, you got a square sub-wave oscillator. And if you go to the left, sinus. So you have this tube, which means it's more the upper tone, and you add the sub-oscillator. This one uses also widener. Yeah, that's what Tom mentioned. There's also guitar type of stuff in the with the model. This one. Dirty and stable. And here this one uses a djembe. So if you have a beat, okay. Oh, what is it doing now? Oh, I don't like the bass drum. I want another bass drum. Ooh. Bit nice, a bit more. So you really got new tones because of you can combine a djembe and play a tune. You use these synth features, filter and an additional oscillator. You get a totally new tones. And this is a bass. So You know this track from Michael Jackson? Don't know the name. It has a typical click. This one looks very much ultra click, I call it. And you feel it has a lot of body. If you use it in your music, it will be there. And of course, it's hugely popular already for many years because it's amazing for bass. It's there. It doesn't disappoint you. Tone over. And this is, of course, in hip hop, they like to use experiment. Of course, you need to. Picture a very low tempo beat with this one, you know. So you hear the combination of a bass and a tom, tuned tom. Liberian Girl, yeah, Arabelle Garbo. Yes, that's the right one. Yeah, the click looks really, where was it? The tune click, tune kick, tuned click, where was it again? Yeah, a bit like the Liberian Girl, indeed. And these are the SubBasses, and drops. Yeah, bass is very cool. Here it comes. So it's also used by, I think the composer, his name was not John Williams, but also Harry Williams used SubBoomBass-2, I think in one of the Terminator movies. So here you have the Abyss. Nice. This uses a contrabass and a tube metal. And that's what I love about, I mean, Gerd mentioned, and also, not sure who other mentioned that, yeah, why not create a VST of this urban synthesizer, this synth from the 70s? But for me, this is the fun part, to do really new stuff, combine things which are cool from analog type of synths, but also combine samples in a different way. And Tom Aldrich mentioned the it's the introduction bank FM. I was looking for this. I think one of the cool things, it's pure synthesis, because this bass, it's not a sample of a very cool analog synth. No, this sound is generated. And you hear a lot of harmonics. But I was looking for this string model we have. So much inside. Here. Jamal. And of course it has the XY. And of course with SubBoomBass, and that's what you can do with all the change the sequence. And so, and you can use the saturation. Yeah, latency based, they should be inside of it. I think I made some I think this is more, it's a bit soft maybe. Lately. And then you could shut down the velocity. I also did this one, I think, in bit 2. If you go to bit 2, I think I also did a lately tape. Because essentially what happens in this FB01, it's modulating FM, but it creates a short saw wave bass. It sounds more like a single saw wave form. It's almost like a analog synth. Let me see if I... Yes. Lately, maybe I took the name also a little bit. Don't see it yet. Looking in the long list? Nope. I can recall that. Lately bit bass. 2 versions. Yeah, that one. This one. See, dark. And that you can adjust yourself. That's more lately. That's really sounds like a single saw oscillator. Okay. That's, yeah. I should save this one also. I think this one is a little bit lately bit 2 bass. I should save this one because I find this variation interesting. Save preset as lately bit. Oh, then I'll make it easy like this. Haha. Yeah, trans bass. Yeah, and of course, yeah, it's bit 2 also. It's great for basses, but of course there are more because over the years we had so many presets added to SubBoomBass-2. We have a bit more. So here's the lately bass in. It's velocity and one without velocity. Yeah, so much inside of it. Yeah, and that's the cool thing is, of course, it has also the sequencer, which is not an arpeggiator, but really a sequencer, and it has 4 sequences, the option. And you have different ways of playing them back. Also, that already, you can do some very cool additional stuff. So it's not only for adding. So that, for instance, let's play that one. Now here in the upper section, you see what it's playing. Sequencer A, and then C. Oh, it does repeat itself. Now here you can click to edit pattern. So here it sees. So you can follow a pattern, and then sometimes it plays pattern C. Of course, what you can do in the play mode, now play mode is pattern, so now it plays this pattern, which you selected down here. But for programming, you can say, oh, play only sequence A. Okay, then you think, okay, this is boring. One trick you can do is simply go to the command button. That is here, this one, this little one. And you say, copy sequence to number 2. Which is B. So now I can play mode B. It's the same. But there you could say, okay, do something else. So I could change it here. And so you could copy to C and D. And then finally, the play mode, you can do it also that it makes pattern, what we just had, or that it simply says split A and B on your keyboard. So if I play here in this range, it plays A. If I play in this range, it plays B. And it also shows it here, sequence B. So if you see my keyboard in the upper corner, I press in the second octave, that plays sequence A. If I play in the second, the third, and almost in the top, it plays sequence B. So you have the split modes, and even go split modes A until D, which means the first octave is sequence A, second octave sequence B, sequence C, sequence C. So that's the play modes you have, or simply follow the pattern. Another option is the top select, which means that I have the first D, T, D. Now A, B. You see my upper, so the upper 4 notes until C6. So C6 and go down 4, you select sequence A. You see it change there, B, D, A, see? This is the A, B, C, D. This is top select. This means that the top 4 notes on your 5-octave keyboard will select the sequence you play. So it's a very sophisticated sequencer. So this is using a more percussion type of thing. And that's also cool because you have a wave sequence here. You can select a different wave in oscillator 2 on each step. So it's very, you can do some weird. So it's not only a bass sequence, but it also can do some other cool stuff. Or just synth sounds. So indeed, Tom, it's a 256 step sequencer. 16, no, versus 4 is, no, less than. But you have a lot of sequences, a lot of steps, and it's up to you. And handy is this, where you copy and reset stuff in your sequencer. So sometimes you start out with a, so let's see if we go to another preset. Sequence B, sequence A. So this one uses a pattern. So I click here on. So this uses only A, B, A, B. And even in the pattern mode, you can still skip it 1 octave. Hear that? Step 4. Or make the volume go lower. You have the loop mode for the pattern modes. You can loop from step 9 to 16. Retrigger or no retrigger. So there are plenty of options inside the in the sequencer. So for wave sequencing, let me see if I have more. Oi, oi, oi. So this is more normal sequencing. So here, see sequence A, B, C, edit. So this one combines 4 sequences at once. So I also can play mode only sequence A for making it. No delay, but distortion is also nice. Sequence B. C. Not much difference with this one. And you can combine it with other stuff. That's a nice one. I should save this one. This is a nice dirty variations, and I need to complete this a little bit with more variations. So save preset as. I first save it and then I can continue. GP. Now I call this sequence dirty me 01. Yeah, it should have a name. So what I can do now, so I have pattern A. I can copy that one. I go here, copy sequence 2. Now you see the menu says number 2 is B, so I press 2. I go to B and edit it, play mode B. And then I make my variation. So sequence A is this. B is this. And you could make it C. So I copy A again to C. So say copy sequence 2. Menu jumps a little bit. So 3. And I added 3. Play C. So then you can make a pattern. So you could say, okay, A, B, and then C, A, B, C, or A, B. Then you got all kind of variations. So, and then play mode, you need to select, of course, pattern, and then A, B. Let's see how it's sequenced. Oh, the note is a little bit too low here. Distortion, it really adds a see how cool you can use this. So that's my tip for today. So that you have 4 sequences, use the make one, play mode, pick one, make one, copy that to another one, edit the other ones, and then create your pattern, or use it by using the other modes, which are top select for the 4 top keys, or that you split the keyboard, which I also can do. So split now. But that's a little bit low. Maybe tune it for this one a little bit higher. The basic tuning. So yeah, so that's the. So we're working on new presets for SubBoomBass-2. So that will be released in February. I will be very busy with that, and it's of course also a pleasure to do it. And so many options inside of it. Still much to discover. Okay, so what's next? Yeah, we're almost at the end of the live stream. I linked the Orbit-3 demo. For the ones who maybe noted, I created for EMU in the past the Techno Synth Construction Yard ROM and the Beat Garden ROM. And both were combined as the Orbit-3. So if I go here, let me see if I can find the link for you guys. 1 second. So let me see if I can do it the right way. That one. I put in the description box the links to this Orbit-3 demo song, but also if you might still own a Proteus 2000 or one of the compatible modules of EMU, the EMU ROMs Techno Synth Construction Yard, which I created the sounds for, and the Beat Garden, they are now again available. And on Reverb, they are available, and the links are also in the description box below this video. So I'm gonna play now. We go out not with a demo from Tom Aldrich, but a more than 20 years old demo, early 2000 it was, so it's 24 years ago. Oh boy, I'm getting old. 24 years ago that I created this one. And what I did differently with sorry, let's gonna play it in a second. What I did different at that time, I sampled far more the waveforms as a basic stuff. So I use really a lot of the filters inside the EMU, they had these how to call it again, the Z-plane filters. So I recorded, for instance, from the Jupiter 8, the pulse width modulation, and the same sound as bass I use for making pads, but also other synth sounds. I really, instead of sampling the whole sound, I created also the sound using the features. And that made that I could do far more with the 32-bit sample ROM, because that was the ROM size you had. I could do far more sounds because of that. Of course, the percussion sounds and drum sounds, they needed to be fully sampled, but and this is the one guy recorded, and that for me was fun because that's a long time ago for me that I heard this demo again. So this is the Orbit-3, which is down here in my studio. And Orbit-3, they're very rare, but the EMU Orbit-3 had the Technosynth Construction Yard and the Beat Garden ROM, both of the sound sets I created for EMU inside this rack module. And you still would have then 2 slots free for other ROMs. And well, the ROMs are still available, that I told already. But so here's the demo song 24 years ago, and you also hear that some of the sounds are still fresh. And you might recognize from Beat Garden some of the sounds you hear inside Punch 2. So one of the cool lo-fi snare you hear also. So let's play it. This is the EMU Orbit-3 demo songs from, let's say, 24 years ago. Oh boy. Anyhow, we go out with that one. I'm going to say goodbye already and see you next week, guys.